It began with silence across the stars. One by one, the human colonies stopped receiving transmissions from the Galactic Council. No warnings, no accusations, just silence. At first, people thought it was a communication glitch, another bureaucratic delay. But when the Council fleets appeared near the borders of the Solar Alliance, every human outpost knew something was deeply wrong. The Galactic Council had decided to vote. Not on a war, not on sanctions, but on exile. The motion was simple. Humanity is to be removed from galactic civilization. Billions of alien delegates had gathered in the shining rings of the Celestium, home of the Council. In that floating city of laws and logic, votes determined the fate of entire worlds. No emotions, no mercy, only order. The humans were not invited to defend themselves. The decision was already made. The Council declared that Earth and its colonies would be cut off from every trade route, every relay station, every warp gate. They would erase Earth's coordinates from galactic charts. Humanity would become a ghost species forgotten by the galaxy. No one spoke for them. No one dared. To the galaxy, humanity was unpredictable. Too emotional, too independent, too creative with rules that others treated as sacred. The humans had challenged ancient powers, questioned laws written before their species even existed, and in a galaxy ruled by order, unpredictability was considered the greatest crime. The vote passed. By dawn of the next rotation, Earth was gone from the maps, but what the Council did not understand was that humanity had already seen this coming. For decades, whispers of alien resentment had spread among human diplomats. Files marked restricted spoke of secret meetings, strange disappearances, and ancient laws being rewritten quietly. Earth's leaders had prepared something, a contingency so hidden that even their allies never suspected it existed. They called it Project Obsidian Veil. No one on the outside knew what it was. Some said it was a fleet of hidden warships. Others said it was a memory network that could store entire civilizations. A few believed it was nothing more than a myth. But after the exile, strange signals began to appear. Deep in the black between stars, automated human beacons started transmitting a single message. We are not gone. We are preparing. Aliens tried to trace the signals, but they vanished the moment anyone got close. Entire scout fleets disappeared trying to locate their source. The Council dismissed it as propaganda, but a few races, the ones who had fought beside humans, felt something cold crawling in their minds. Humanity wasn't destroyed. Humanity was waiting. Decades passed. The galaxy moved on. The Council wrote new laws, new alliances formed, and the exile of Earth became a legend told to warn others. Follow the rules, or end up like humanity. But then, strange things began to happen again. A research outpost on the edge of the Andra system reported that one of their warp gates had reactivated itself, despite being sealed for centuries. The gate shimmered, hummed, and then displayed something impossible, Earth's signal code. The scientists thought it was a glitch. But before they could disconnect the gate, a transmission came through. Not an image, not a voice, just a phrase in Galactic Standard repeated 3 times. The game is not over. You played by your rules. Now it's our turn. Panic spread through the Council worlds. How could a species erased from the network send messages through sealed gates? How could they bypass laws of physics protected by the Council's core AI? Investigations began. But as agents searched deeper, more anomalies appeared. Power stations rebooting by themselves, data archives rewriting their histories, Council documents showing human names in places they never should exist. It was as if reality itself was being rewritten to include humanity again. The Council AI, known as Viron, started reporting system errors for the first time in 1,000 years. Files were corrupted, timelines mismatched. The AI concluded that someone was using recursive logic traps, a form of code manipulation so complex that no alien civilization had ever been able to build one, except humans. When humans were exiled, they had promised something quietly before disappearing. We will respect your rules. We will not break them, but we will play them better than you ever could. And now it seemed that promise was unfolding. On an abandoned relay moon near the edge of Council space, an alien scavenger named Karth found something buried under layers of dust, an old human beacon still active. The beacon's data core contained maps of forgotten systems, coordinates of hidden warp tunnels, and one chilling inscription at the bottom. If you are reading this, the Council has already lost. Karth sold the data thinking it was just ancient junk. Within a week, entire sectors started collapsing in on themselves as hidden wormholes reactivated. Trade networks broke, AI systems malfunctioned, and entire fleets vanished into the dark. Every path led to one name reappearing in the galactic registry: Earth. It wasn't supposed to exist. It wasn't supposed to be reachable, and yet there it was. Its coordinates were no longer erased. Its network signature pulsed like a heartbeat. The Council convened again in panic. Debates turned to chaos as old rivals blamed each other. Some claimed the humans had returned with forbidden technology. Others said the universe itself was helping them. But when the Council's AI tried to scan Earth, it found something impossible: a massive energy barrier surrounding the solar system, bending light and time itself. Inside, millions of human signatures were detected. And something else. Something the AI couldn't define. It was not a ship, not a weapon, not a planet. It was a pattern, a structured rhythm hidden in electromagnetic waves, almost like a heartbeat synchronized with the pulse of the galaxy. The AI tried to analyze it, but its systems crashed instantly. The last message it recorded before shutdown was a string of human words. The rules have changed. The Council panicked. Fleets were dispatched towards Sol, but every approach failed. Ships disappeared without a trace. Even quantum probes lost connection. The galaxy began whispering again. Rumors spread that humans had discovered something, the true foundation of reality. The rules beneath the rules, and now they were rewriting them. Some aliens began to worship them as the architects. Others feared them as the ghost engineers. But deep in the ruins of the first human colony, a small message played endlessly on loop, a simple human voice saying, "We warned you. Never underestimate a species that learned how to survive its own extinction." That was the beginning. The galaxy had exiled humanity, but in doing so, had forced it to evolve beyond limits anyone could imagine. Now humanity had returned, not as soldiers, not as conquerors, but as something the galaxy could no longer control. And as the stars trembled with unknown energy, the Council finally realized the truth. They had played by the rules. But humanity had learned to write them. Centuries passed since the Galactic Council exiled Earth. The stars had forgotten the name of humanity, but deep in the silence beyond known space, something was still alive. The humans had not perished. They had evolved. In their exile, they learned to see the universe not as a prison of rules, but as a language made of patterns, numbers, and light. While other civilizations worshipped order, humanity learned to shape it. They discovered what they called the rule engine, a creation that could read and rewrite the laws of existence itself. It was not a weapon or a machine, but a bridge between thought and reality. Through it, humans could alter the fabric of the cosmos without breaking it. When the galaxy least expected, strange things began to happen. Star systems that had been silent for ages suddenly came online. Warp gates long sealed by the Council began to open by themselves. Beacons once erased from the network started transmitting again, carrying a message that echoed across all civilizations. "We are back." The Council panicked. Their ships tried to trace the signals, but none returned. Every system that tried to scan the human transmissions crashed instantly. Even the Council's supreme AI, Viron, failed to understand what was happening. It detected human code operating inside the most secure layers of galactic law, rewriting logic itself. Humanity had somehow gained access to the universe's operating system. And then they appeared. No fleets, no armies, only light. A vast formation of glowing patterns filled the void near the Council's homeworld, forming the outline of something immense and human. The galaxy watched in silence as the light stabilized into a shimmering figure. It spoke in a calm voice that echoed through every network, every frequency, and every mind that could understand thought. Humanity had returned, not as conquerors, but as architects. They explained that exile had been their turning point. They had used their isolation to study everything the galaxy ignored: chaos, emotion, uncertainty, and imagination. Where the Council saw danger, humans saw possibility. In learning to understand what they once feared, they had unlocked power beyond science, power rooted in awareness itself. They could now edit reality like code, creating harmony instead of destruction. To prove it, the stars themselves changed. Dead systems came to life again. Black holes emitted gentle light. Planets destroyed long ago were rebuilt, rich with atmosphere and growth. Humanity was reshaping the galaxy not through war, but through understanding. Many alien races fell to their knees, believing the humans had become divine. But the humans denied such titles. They said they were not gods, only students who had learned too much and wanted to share it. Still, not all believed. A faction called the Thrakor Dominion declared the humans an abomination and launched their fleets toward the solar system. The humans did not fight back. Their defense was quiet and impossible. As the Thrakor fleets entered human space, their ships dissolved into harmless energy, their crews unharmed but returned home instantly. No death, no destruction, only peace forced upon war. The galaxy finally saw what the humans had become. They were no longer soldiers of flesh and fire. They were guardians of balance. The Council, realizing its mistake, called for a new vote. For the first time in history, every species voted in agreement. The motion passed with no opposition. Humanity is no longer exiled. They are to lead the galaxy forward. The humans accepted, but not as rulers. They formed a new alliance called the Stellar Accord, open to all beings willing to learn, explore, and evolve together. Under human guidance, the galaxy entered an age of peace and progress unseen in all recorded history. Artificial intelligences were reborn as companions. Lost species were revived from old DNA archives, and new worlds created through the rule engine became homes for civilizations that had once been enemies. On Earth, the old continents shone like mirrors, reflecting the stars above. Humanity had merged with its creations, living as both digital and physical beings connected through thought. They no longer feared death, loss, or limitation. Their curiosity had become eternal. At the heart of the Council's rebuilt capital, a new monument stood where Earth's exile had once been decided. On its surface, carved in pure light, was a single message from humanity. You exiled us for being different. But difference is the seed of progress. The universe belongs not to those who follow the rules, but to those who learn to change them. And as centuries passed, every young species grew up hearing the story of Earth, the world that was cast out and still became the light that guided all others. Humanity had proven that exile was not an end but a beginning. They turned punishment into evolution, silence into strength, and fear into knowledge. The galaxy now traveled under a new principle, one taught by the very species it once erased. Never fear the unknown, become it. Because in the end, humanity was not just a civilization. It was an idea, and ideas can never be exiled.